Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am in South Haven. I just dropped Skylar off at therapy, and to kill some time, I thought I would come to Dollar Tree, so I'm in the Dollar Tree parking lot right now. Thought I would chat with you guys for a little bit, then go in. I have nothing to buy, but I just like to walk around, like I said, kill some time, so I don't have a 1 hour long video that I need to edit. And then when I'm done in there, I'll go back to the office so I'm there when she comes out. And I'll record from there too. So I have an interesting piece of news. Last night at 3:30 a.m., first of all, you'd have to go watch yesterday's video because I talked about my friend Don and his drinking and things like that. Did I do one the day before too? I can't remember. But anyway, I definitely talked about him. And I do want to make clear that I offer the men I chat with, or the men that I see, lots of options as to what ends up in my videos. Don, from the get-go, said to me, the first time he heard me call him Travel Man, he said, "You could use my real name." And I said, "Okay, that's cool, but I'm just going to still call you Travel Man." And he said he had nothing to hide and I could talk about anything, whatever. He seemed to like recognizing himself, and when that first time got, hit with a lot of red flags, I was truthful about it. I don't know if he ever watched that or not. He can see if it says dating info or whatever, and I don't think yesterday's video did, but anyway, I think he drinks so much that he probably watches stuff and it doesn't even stay in his mind. I don't know. But, so he was very, open with me that I could say whatever I wanted. And that's why I do talk about him, and I think the whole situation with his drinking is a learning experience for everyone, not only for someone wanting to date somebody who's, they discover is an alcoholic, but even for the alcoholics. You're fucking up your life and any relationships that you can have, at least any good ones. So I think it's all educational. And I know some of you are concerned, but please remember, nobody knows this guy. Nobody from, anybody that I know, when I go out, these people do not know Don. Don is not in that scene. Don does not go out. So, nobody I know would know who I'm talking about, and certainly strangers don't know. His name is Don. He lives in South Haven. I'm sure there's a lot of Dons in South Haven. So, so the other options that I give before I get to what I have to say about Don, the other options are, like I do with some of the other guys, they get a cutesy name, and I never use their name, and I kind of even try not to give their location, and that's cool. I have some that don't even want any mention, no cutesy name, and they just don't want to recognize the story or the dating event or anything. Like if they watch my video, they don't want to recognize anything that they might think is about them. And I have that. So realistically, you guys don't really know if I'm seeing someone or not. Because if they don't want me to talk at all about it, I'm going to respect that. Because it is a little weird. Even though I say to them, I promise I would not say anything negative if, you let me at least use a fake name. No, if they don't want to, I'm not fighting that. I just absolutely respect. So you're not always getting all the story. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. And then I had one guy who asked me on the dating site, what can you do or say to guarantee to me that you will not talk about me at all? And I said, you have my word. And I explained to him the different things that I have done to accommodate other men, those who don't mind that I use their actual name, those who don't mind the little cutesy name and just telling my story, and then those who don't want me to talk about it at all. And so I gave him those options, and I said, you have my word. Whatever you pick, that's it. And he said, I decide you just stick to the guys who like this, or something like that. So I, and then he blocked me. I was like, it's okay, that's okay. Of course, some guys would have a big issue with it if they're married or something. They don't want me to all of a sudden call them out, and they don't know me. And they should be worried, because there are women who could just blab everything, even though I would say, I promise you, I'm not going to talk about you or ever name you. They don't know me. They can't trust that, and they certainly shouldn't if they're an asshole and they're afraid I'm going to tell the world they're an asshole, including their name. But I think, I don't know, for the most part, I haven't had too much issue with it. And for the two who said, just don't talk about me at all, I don't want to recognize any part of me in your videos, I respect that. And they trust me. And I'm happy about that. Okay, Dawn, drunk, texted me at 3:30 in the morning last night after not hearing from him for 2 weeks. I did not get the impression that he saw my video. I think he was just really, really drunk. I could not make sense of the texts. Well, the first text was, wake up. That's it. And I saw it was from him, and I was like, I don't know if I should reply back to that. So I decided I wouldn't. And then about 5 minutes later, I got another text. Wake the fuck up, with an exclamation point. So now I was a little bit worried. Is he in the hospital? Is he okay? Does he need help? This is not like him to talk like that, especially after 2 weeks. So I replied, is there something wrong? And then he sent me 3 fairly long texts that made no sense, and lots of punctuation that doesn't belong. I knew he was wasted. I didn't ask. And he even said, yes, I'm drunk, and this and that. And he tried to use some personal stuff that he was going through, supposedly. I mean, I believe him, as the reason why he hadn't been in touch with me. But then I did let him know that when I'm on Plenty of Fish, that's the dating site that I'm mostly on and that I met him on, we can see if the person is online when we're logged in. And if they're not online, we can see how long it has been since they've been online. Like some guys, if you think you want to chat with them and like I want to say hello for the first time, I'll look. And if he hasn't been to the site, been online on the site for 34 weeks, I'm not even going to bother, because the guy's just not, involved on the site like he should be. Some will say minutes ago, meaning they just got offline, or a week ago, or 2 hours ago. I'm on the site often because I'm very clear with the guys that I see that I'm still looking until I'm in an exclusive committed relationship. I am still looking. And if they're not like dating me and doing the things that I like if they're not dancing, taking me out dancing or whatever, I'm going to continue to look. And so I'm on there often, and so I can see that Dawn is on there often. He was actually on last night, a while before texting me. But anyway, so I let him know, it's like, Dawn, you're on Plenty of Fish all the time. He knows that we can see that. He can see when I'm online. And I didn't mention this to him, but I forgot, but I could have also said, you post on Facebook every day, all day. A lot of memes and stuff like that. And then I said, if you can take the time to be on a dating site for the past 2 weeks, daily, multiple times a day, you could have sent me a text. So I'm not upset that he's on the dating site. Like I said, I am too, and he knows why. and he's allowed to be on the dating site and see whoever he wants. I'm good with that. That's the way this works. But don't use that excuse that you're fucked up and all this and that, and that's why, you know, things have been going wrong, and that's why I couldn't text you. No, you could have texted me. You know, if anything, if you're upset and you have any interest in me at all, you would want to text me and say, look, I'm going through a lot of shit right now. So he didn't like that I brought that up, that I could see he was active in other places, and kind of told me off a little bit. And I was like, good with it. I'm good with it. But I did text him again 2 more times. I can see that the first text was read. The second one has been left unread. I did tell him again, I am here for you if you need help with drinking. But I'm not going to be your friend unless you are serious about stopping drinking. And that's at the point where you can contact me and I will help you. And I absolutely still would. But what I should have said to him, because after I texted him, you know, twice, I should have said to him, if he goes to rehab, the man needs rehab. And you know, for him to have had withdrawals and spend a couple nights in the hospital, you know, and then just go right back to it. The guy needs rehab. So if he ever says, hey, I need help, and I can see he's just drunk and it's just another attempt to maybe get me back into his life a little tiny bit, I will say to him, I will help you right now to find a place to put you in rehab. I think that would be a good idea. If he refuses that, then there's nothing I can do. But that's where he needs to be. That's the only help I can provide him, is a ride to rehab, helping him find a place for rehab, because I'm not going to go through this bullshit of 3:30 a.m. texts from a guy who needs serious help. And, you know, me talking to him or chatting with him back and forth at that time in the morning when he's wasted is not helpful. It's not, and it's not helpful to me either. So there it is. I heard from Dawn, and now I'm going to go in the store and just look around, and then I'll see you at the therapy office. I am at the therapy office, and I left Dollar Tree with nothing. I was going to buy just a little bottle of 36 pills of the knockoff brand of Benadryl, because even though I sleep much better, every now and then I have a night where I just can't sleep, and last night was one of them. I went to bed way too early, 8 o'clock. I went to bed just to rest. I was happy about things that I have coming up in my life, and I, you know, played on my iPad a little bit, and, you know, did the dating sites, you know, all my usual iPad things, and I was just in a good mood, and I thought maybe I can fall asleep early and get up early and have a nice full day tomorrow, which is today. And I never fell asleep until 6:30 a.m. I was in my bed from 8 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. just trying to fall asleep, or, you know, listening to things to try to help me to sleep. Now, it didn't help, but at 3:30, when Dawn texted, because now, you know, that just like woke me up. And then I did turn it to airplane mode. And then when I woke up this morning and turned airplane mode off, you know, is when I got his last couple of texts. And yeah, it just was, you know, it's very sad to me. But, you know, it is what it is. I have no control over it. And, you know, and somebody even said in the comments, I don't know if I let that one go through or not, but acted like I wasn't being considerate. I needed to go check on him. First of all, he has tenants. He rents out rooms to tenants. He's not alone in that house. But it's not my responsibility. Nobody should make anybody feel guilty for a guy that I've only known for 3.5 months, and that it's been rocky from the beginning. You know, it's not my responsibility. It wasn't anybody's responsibility to help me. You know, it's just, yeah. And do remember that my husband died from alcoholism when he turned 60. I'm very aware of the dangers of alcohol, and I couldn't help my husband. He had to help himself, and he died from it. I would be dead from it. Don is somebody I just started to know, and I knew him enough to like him and to see a good person in there, but he's fucked up. He needs help. It's not for me. He needs to go to rehab. The other thing I wanted to touch on is that for some reason, when I talked to you guys like I did yesterday, I talked about my savings and how it's, I hate to take anything out of savings. Some of you got the impression that I'm struggling for money. That's not the case. If you know me at all, you know I'm just weird about things. I have savings for all kinds of things in 3 different banks. So I'm not hurting for money. I have done very well for myself in my entrepreneurial life, even as a drunk. I started businesses that succeeded, and I have been saving money. And my only thing was that particular sub-account is the one that I have been building the most for when I retire. Just meaning, like, if I ever stop working and I need money there to pay the rent and things like that, that has not been touched, because even though I gave up the fabric business, and somebody wanted to know why, I was just tired of it. I had a life now after my mother died, and I decided I wanted to go out and live life and not spend every waking moment in my apartment working on that fabric business. No one will know how much work that was. I did everything myself, and I sold a shit ton of fabric. So it was a lot of work. That's why I ended it. That particular account was the only one that I liked to see grow. My savings would go a big chunk in that one, and then some savings for my all-purpose in the car and all kinds of things. I have savings for Skylar that I've been doing for 13 years. I started when she was 2. You guys might remember hearing us talk about that. When she's 22, after I save for 20 years, some of that money can be used for things that she needs. Education, to help her with a car. The rule is she gets a good used car. She can use some of that money for a down payment, but then she needs to make payments, because I want her to learn how to make car payments. Even though it'll be partially financed, I want her to be responsible for things like that. So I'm okay. I just am freaking out about that one account that I've only seen grow, and I took a nice chunk to pay my rent for the rest of the year and to pay for a substantial bill that I acquired, and it's all good. I'm over the fact that I touched that account, because I know I'm just going to start putting back in it, because I am going to be starting some other things. I'm very excited about that. I don't want to retire. I like doing things, but for a little period there, my life changed so much that I was like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Now I feel like things have settled down a little bit. I'm still going to be doing my dancing and going out. I didn't go out last night. I survived. I was in bed at 8 o'clock, enjoying my free time, and I'm not going out tonight. There was a chance I was going to be going, but it was canceled, and I said, that's okay. I will work. I will do something. Work on, this new stuff that I want to do. And so I will have some time now to start a business. The trick is I want something that is not going to be too time-consuming. And I have lots of ideas, stuff that I've never done before. For instance, soap making. Not the kind where you're mixing it with the lye and all that shit, but just the kind that, can be pourable. I watch people who do it. I'm absolutely fascinated by it. But again, there's a startup for that. I don't have the supplies. Candle making, I'm interested in that too. Definitely, I could go back to jewelry making. There was a time in the early 2000s where I was making and selling jewelry. I could revisit that. I definitely want to do something with paper beads. I've even thought about doodling on camera again, but then making prints of my doodle and selling those for a little bit if anybody would want them. You know, there's just all kinds of things. So my thing is, I'm going to try all kinds of things, anything I feel like trying, and I will stick to anything that feels good and at least sells. Right? I mean, obviously I'm talking like sales because I don't have too many other ways. There's a lot of ways. I could beef up my affiliate income. I could work on getting more patrons and YouTube members. Right now I don't feel like doing that. I feel like just doing stuff that I enjoy and putting stuff on eBay or on my personal private website, I should say, for my patrons and YouTube members. Remember, YouTube members pay a $5 per month fee to get extra perks. That does not mean that you pay for subscribing. You can subscribe to this channel immediately. That doesn't cost anything. That just puts you in your puts my videos in your feed and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about trying some new things. And, you know, again, it's going to be things like I do something or make something and then I put it on eBay. It's not like with the fabric that I would cut and this and that, and everybody knew I was going to start having my sale all weekend, and then I had to do packing orders. I had to do that. I couldn't just say, I think I'll take Saturday and Sunday and Monday off, because I would start Saturday night packing orders all day Sunday, at least half the day Monday, and deliver all that to the post office. So I want something where it's more flexible and that I enjoy doing and that doesn't take me 60 hours a week to do. So it's all good. What time is it? She'll be coming out in about 10 minutes. Is there anything else I want to fill you in on? I don't know. Oh yeah, and again, I hate to share ideas. Please listen to the words coming out of my mouth right now. Anything I just said these are ideas that I'd like to try, maybe get back to. Don't say yes. Oh my God, yes. She's gonna make paper beads again. I have no clue if I will do that. No clue. Please, please, please don't hold me to these things, because there are times I have said I'm going to do this and then I don't do it, because the minute I commit, I choke. And I'm like, what if I don't want to do it? I said I would. And then my life is miserable because of that. So everything I just said, everything I'm about to say about these new business endeavors that I'm attempting, it's all ideas in my head, things that I'm saying out loud just because it helps me. Doesn't mean any of those things will happen. It could all fall apart, right? I don't think so, because I'm pretty much in the mood to, you know, just start something. But one thing is that I really want to take advantage of the prices that I get at the thrift store. And somebody mentioned it, and it made me remember that on the back of my schedule that I still print out every week on Mondays. I usually print it sometimes Sunday night to be ready for Monday. I've been doing that for over 20 years. I have all kinds of ideas, hundreds of ideas on the back page of that. And every now and then I will look at that to, you know, say, can I do something different? And one of the ideas is to take thrift store clothes and just make them my own. Like, it could be as easy as a pair of jeans. I could do my own distressing. I know how to do the distressing thing with the, you know, pulling the threads and stuff like that. I could do embroidery. I could add beads sewn on. I could do just all kinds of things. I saw a woman at Lafayette's on the dance floor with a pair of jeans. I can't believe, I wanted to approach her and say, where did you get those? They were so cool. They were like art, pieces of art on those jeans. So even if I didn't want to draw art or whatever it was that she had on those jeans, I could always sometimes do some applique with things I cut out. So I'd like to do that. The other thing that I've always thought is cool, and I watch a woman who does something similar. She does it mostly with like jackets and stuff, like a denim jacket, and then she'll put a panel on the back. Or one thing that I've seen and that I liked is taking two shirts and that are similar and just swapping out the sleeves. So blue shirt with green sleeves, and the green shirt gets the blue sleeves. But it's got to be the right kind of shirt, the right kind of look. I think it kind of looks cool and like grungy if it's done with men's flannel shirts. Maybe swap the pocket. Skylar would absolutely fucking love something like that. And then, of course, I could always try to get Skylar involved in something. The soap making, though, boy, I really would love to do that. You just pour in different ways, and then when you slice it on the machine and then cut the bars, it's just so cool to see how that turns out. Stuff like that is so up my alley. But then it's a pain in the ass with the shipping costs. You gotta have, good packaging for things like that. Some have them shrink wrapped. Some have the soap box. I would just love to be ordering soap boxes. I don't know. That really is something that would take too much time. And I don't want to start something that big, because you know what would happen if I started that? In no time, it would be a full-time fucking job for me. Because that's what happens. When I love something, I'm just successful. That's not bragging. That's the law of attraction there. I see it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And I know this is going to make the numbers go up in my bank account. That's just the bonus. It's the doing all of that I love. And I accidentally make a lot of money. People think they can't make money. You can. You have to have the passion for something. And somebody did ask to talk about past businesses, and I would be happy to do that. I think the advertising flyer, it was like a paper. It was before anybody really had a computer in their home and the internet. And I started something out of necessity, and I turned it into a business that I had for 4 years, and then I gave it up to go live with my soon-to-be alcoholic husband, and I was a bad drunk. I was in my 30s. But that was a 6-figure business within 4 years. It's doable. You just got to have passion. And I am not a brain. I just am willing to sit down and try to figure things out and learn how to do things. I do not spend money to make money. If anything, I like that advertising business. It was under $100 for a startup for that. And it was awesome. When I think of the things that I did while drunk, even, that was a drunk Darlene business. And I follow a woman who's only in her early 20s, and she's been making mega bucks since she was a teenager. Selling her own clothes is how she started, just to make a little bit of money. And then she got the idea of going to thrift stores, and she has done a remarkable job, an awesome business, and she's only in her 20s. And when I think how life could have been different for me had I not been a teenage drunk, But I'm good where I am now. I really am. And I love that I have YouTube and that I get to talk to people and help people. Read the comments, especially those of you who think I'm talking for nothing, because I'm not. I am very convinced of that. In those 4 years that I had comments off, I knew I would have been getting, a lot of people saying wonderful things for me, but I just couldn't take it. My life was so stressed to the max that I couldn't handle even nice things being said to me. I said it all the time. It all sounded like noise to me. I wanted quiet, peace and quiet. And now I have a lot of peace and quiet. And those comments that come in are like gold to me now. And I do appreciate all the wonderful things that are said. I love knowing that I've helped people, not only with carnivore and narcissism, but just with things like this, talking about how you can make money just by having a passion. Will some people never do that? Yes, some people will never do that. You know why? Because they say, I could never do that. and that's it. That seals the deal. If you say that, never in my life have I ever said I can't do that about an idea that I had. I don't care how off the wall the idea would be. I knew I could do it. Now, not redhead is here. Blackhead. No, that's not a good name for that. Blackhead. Black hair. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so tell them what we do to and from. My favorite part. How do we get together? My favorite part of our trips to South Haven for this and also now for choir.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do?
Just listen to music.
And what do I do when we listen to music? I act the whole thing out.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, like
Especially to I Was Made for Loving You.
fucking good song that is. But the one that I really go wild is
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody. When they get to the part where it's a headbanging, I fucking do the headbanging. Even if I'm driving, which probably isn't a good idea, but at one time we were at the park, we were stopped at a light, and I was doing that, and there's a car right next to me, and I'm fucking, it's just so fun. But yes, and I also love Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You. We heard that one time when it was New Year's Eve, you and Milo, we were all going to see your dad play. That particular bar allows kids, and we heard that, and I just flipped out. I hadn't heard it for years and forgot how much I loved it. So now Skylar plays it when we're in the car. She played it again today on the way here, and we just sing it to the top of our lungs. And that's another thing we do. And then I said, which Queen song is it that we sing to the top? No, not Queen. Aerosmith.
Dream On.
Dream On. Screaming that. Yeah, you have to be there to see how much crazy fun we have. But we do. We have fun. All right, now we're gonna go. I don't remember if I finished whatever I was saying, but if not, you can be sure I'll continue, because apparently I talk a lot to some people. And I do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.